This is QTV Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM. I'm Amudu Gajaga, and thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. The Gambia Participates unveiled the Gambia Corruption Index survey on Wednesday, highlighting the police as the Gambia's most corrupt institution. The Gambia Revenue Authority, in collaboration with the Africa Tax Administration Forum, launched a 4-day capacity building forum to strengthen its staff's technical skills in transfer pricing for managing complex tax transactions. The Ministry of Works, Transport and Infrastructure and partners commenced a 3-day training on data identification, analysis and monitoring to track transport sector emissions in the OIC countries. The National Environment Agency hosted the Global Environmental Facility Expanded Constituency Forum on Tuesday, bringing together stakeholders to address critical environmental challenges. The Women's Association for Women and Victims Empowerment, in collaboration with the Ministry of Justice, commenced a 2-day training for state councils on mental health and psychosocial support in the workplace. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. Gambia Participates, a civil society organization, today presented the Gambia's Corruption Index, the first country-specific index of its kind, with the police perceived as the highest corrupt institution. The survey outcomes indicated that 90% of respondents believe corruption in the Gambia is widespread, with 81% saying it has increased in the last 12 months. Alusise reports.
The index assesses and ranks government ministries, departments, agencies and state-owned enterprises on their level of transparency and anti-corruption practices. According to Gambia Participates, the research instruments were developed in collaboration with Center for Policy Research and Strategic Studies, CEPRAS, while Transparency International reviewed the methodology to ensure credibility. The results of the index, now published online, are expected to guide reforms, strengthen accountability, and stimulate public dialogue on good governance in the country. It targeted approximately 1,556 respondents, 63% male and 37% female across all the regions. It integrates both perception-based and experience-based approaches. Amadou A. Kumare of Gambia Participates said the survey was conducted in July 2025.
Do people believe the government is serious and committed to fighting corruption across all major institutions? So 47% of people overall say that the government lacks will or action. 28% say no, the situation is worsening. 9% say they're not sure. 11% say yes, but limited and inconsistent action. Only 5% say yes with clear justification and examples.
Majority of respondents attributed the high rate of corruption to low salaries, while 63% are discouraged from reporting because they believe no action will be taken.
This survey relies heavily on perception and may not fully align with actual corruption cases, right? So also we noticed that many people fear disclosure of corruption, right? That might lead to some bias of underreporting. And finally, the survey, as I mentioned, provides a snapshot, not a long-term monitoring. So a snapshot, it was done in July, is the perception of the people at that time, right? If we need to do this exercise again to get a sense of people perception, that will be something to do in the long term.
Gambia Participates' key intervention areas are on fiscal transparency, anti-corruption and election. He said this survey aims to understand public sentiments regarding the prevalence of corruption and strengthen anti-corruption measures and assist development partners, media and CSOs use the data to inform their governance intervention programs and restore public trust and confidence. The Gambia Corruption Index offers a critical benchmark for transparency, aiming to guide reforms, enhance accountability, and spark public dialogue on curbing corruption across the country's institutions. Reporting for QTV News, I am Alusise.
The Gambia Revenue Authority, GRA, with support from the Africa Tax Administration Forum, commenced a 4-day capacity building forum aimed at enhancing the technical skills of its staff in transfer pricing to manage and regulate complex tax transactions effectively. Mam Nabuka was there, and this is our report.
Transfer pricing is one of the most complex areas of international taxation and has become increasingly significant in today's globalized economy. Although the Gambia does not host a large number of multinational corporations, the growth of cross-border trade and investment means that transfer pricing issues are gradually becoming relevant to its tax landscape. With the country's revenue base critical for financial development, transfer pricing, if not well understood and managed, can present challenges such as erosion of the tax base, profit shifting, and loss of much-needed domestic revenue. Yankuba Dabo, the Commissioner General of the GRA, stated that this initiative will reinforce GRA's efforts in building a modern, efficient, and responsive tax administration that meets both national and international standards.
We are actively working on strengthening our legal frameworks and operational guidelines to ensure that the skills you impact have a solid foundation upon which to operate.
Betty Awera, a trainer and transfer pricing specialist at ATAF, shared that this is a significant step towards fighting illicit financial flow in the Gambia and the world at large.
We are definitely looking forward to the long-term plan to be able to support GRA and to realize benefits, tangible benefits for our country, to be able to improve the domestic resource mobilization. Most importantly, we're really looking to equip the team to have a sustainable project so that they can be able to address all the other transfer pricing risks that they can find in the coming years.
Esa Jalo, the Deputy Commissioner General of GRA, highlighted that the training aligns perfectly with their institutional goals.
Over the years, the GRA has made tremendous progress, consistently exceeding revenue targets. This achievement is largely attributed to the various reform initiatives championed by management and, most importantly, to the continuous investment in building the capacities of our staff, as we are currently having. As an institution, we are committed to ensuring that transfer pricing becomes a core part of our day-to-day operations, just like in the case of audit registration and other functions we carry out.
As the forum progresses over the next few days, participants are expected to gain valuable insights that will enhance their ability to navigate the complexities of transfer pricing, ultimately contributing to a more robust tax framework in the Gambia. Mam Nabuka, reporting for QTV News.
The Ministry of Works, Transport and Infrastructure, with support from OIC Standing Committee on Economic and Commercial Cooperation, commenced a 3-day training on data identification, analysis and monitoring to track transport sector emissions in the OIC countries. Pakaba Suso has the details.
The transport sector, while making immense economic contributions, remains a significant source of greenhouse gas emissions. With rising vehicle fleets, rapid urbanization, and increased mobility demands across OIC member states, this training comes at a crucial time to help balance development with sustainability, with delegates from Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, Sierra Leone, and other key stakeholders in the transport sector. This training forms part of ongoing efforts to strengthen institutional and human capacity in developing and managing robust emission monitoring systems. Furthermore, the training aims to enhance technical expertise, improve data harmonization, and foster stronger collaboration and standardization across the sector. Addressing participants on behalf of the Minister of Works and Transport, the Minister for Communications and Digital Economy, Lamin Jabi, together with the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Employment, Mod A.K. Seka, underscored the importance of the training.
In 2023, the IEA reported that the transport sector is responsible for about 24% of the global energy-related carbon dioxide emission. It is against this backdrop that Sustainable Development Goals 13 is interlinked with climate change.
Strengthening our ability to track, analyze, and report transport sector emissions is only a technical necessity. It's not only a technical necessity, but a policy imperative. Accurate and reliable emissions data is the cornerstone of evidence-based policy making.
Africa accounts for less than 4% of global emissions, yet remains the most vulnerable continent to the impacts of climate change. Here are the Deputy Permanent Secretary Technical at the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, Boubacar Zebi Jallo, and Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Trade, Samba Mbalo.
And these emissions are not just a statistic. They directly impact air quality, public health, and the overall resilience of our communities to climate change. Therefore, our ability to effectively identify, analyze, as well as monitor these emissions is not just an academic exercise. It is a fundamental prerequisite for informed decision-making and effective policy formation.
The Standing Committee for Economic and Commercial Cooperation, commonly known as COMSEC, started its activities in 1984, structured mainly around 6 main sectors: trade, transport and communication, tourism, agriculture, poverty alleviation, and finance.
The training is expected to equip participants with the skills and tools necessary to design effective emission monitoring systems, ensuring OIC countries can pursue sustainable transport policies while contributing meaningfully to global climate action and resilient efforts. For QTV News, Pakaba Suso.
Now we go for a commercial break, and when we return, we still have national and international news stories.
immunisation baa ñàkku mooy li gën a wóor te dal xel ci aar xale yi ci feebar mbaa jàngoro yu mel ni ngas ñu naan ko measles, feebaru saxat su bon si di tuberculosis, polio, feebari sedda ñu naan ko pneumonia, cervical cancer, tétanos ak yeneeni jàngoro. xale bu juddu dafa soxla ay péngu si saasi mbaa bés bu mu juddu, maanaam balaa mooy am 20 waxtu ak ñeent. am na solo lool xale yi mbaa tuut tànk yi góor ak jigéen jël péngu yi ñu leen tegtal ci waxtu bu ñu ko war a jëlee comme ni ñu ko bindee ci seen kayiti noosi mbaa infant welfare card. xale yépp war nañoo am bépp péngu bu ñu soxla, bokk na ci xale yi laago yi. xale yi war nañoo jël te matal bépp péngu bu ñu war a am ci seeni njëlbeeni at ak ay yeneeni péngu bu ñu duggee ci seen ñaareeli at. am na ci péngu yoo xam ne xale yi dinañu ko jël ay yooni yoon ngir gën leen a mun a aar. ñuy ñaax waajuri ak ñi yore xale yi di leen toppatoo ne saa yu ñuy dem lopitaan ñu yóbbaale kayiti noosi xale yi mbaa infant welfare card ngir am lu wóor ci mbir immunisation bi mbaa ñàkku xale yi. mun ngeen a dem ci bérébu fajeekaay bi leen gën a jege. xibaar bii ñi leen ko indil mooy waa Ministry of Health ànd ak UNICEF, Gavi, WHO ak seen yeneeni naataango.
Browse with us. QCell brings you a promo like never before. Get unlimited internet for just $25 Cs. Yes! Recharge $25 Cs and enjoy the convenience of free internet from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. every day with our Browse with Us promo. With this amazing offer, you can browse, stream, and download all your favorite movies for free. So why wait? Recharge $25 C today and enjoy free internet only with QCell between 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. For more information, call customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Bus, we innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News. The National Environment Agency, NEA, hosted the Global Environment Facility Expanded Constituency Forum on Tuesday, bringing together stakeholders to address critical environmental challenges, including conservation, climate change mitigation and adaptation, biodiversity loss, land degradation, pollution, and other related issues. Our Bob tells us more.
The four-day forum showcases the Gambia's growing role in shaping regional and global responses to pressing environmental challenges. Since 1991, the Global Environment Facility has provided critical financing and partnerships, supporting governments, civil society, and the private sector in protecting ecosystems and advancing sustainable development. Dr. Dauda Baji serves as the Executive Director of the National Environment Agency and is the Chief Operational Focal Point.
We could be a small country by size, but when it comes to environmental matters, we are high there. For us to host this thing also shows where we are in Jeff. And Jeff has also supported a lot of projects in this country. And the beauty about Jeff is that most of the projects are grants. So they are actually supporting government. This is a real pleasure to host the entire two consequences here.
Dr. Imam Bakar, manager of the Integration and Knowledge Division at the Chief Secretariat, emphasized that the forum serves as a platform for knowledge sharing and collaboration among member countries.
It's going to give us a chance to reflect on the amazing work we are doing to tackle environmental challenges in line with the commitments that our governments have made to the multiple environmental agreements served by the GEF. From the Sahel to the coastal forests and the marine ecosystems, we have together made some major progress in addressing environmental challenges.
Boubacar Zaidi Jallo, Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, together with Aliou Loum, Deputy Chief of Staff at the Office of the President, both reaffirmed the Gambia government's commitment to advancing environmental protection.
The Gambia reaffirms its unwavering commitment to the 1.5 degrees centigrade target, which is important for mostly LDCs and cities, of course. For us, this is not a mere slogan. I mean, of course, we've been singing this song since 2015, but it's a lifeline for most countries. With regards to nature-based solutions, we continue to commit to embedding nature-based solutions at the heart of our land, coastal and biodiversity programs.
I reaffirm the Gambia's unwavering commitment to work hand in hand with the GEF, our Sahelian and coastal neighbors, and the wider international community to address environmental and climate change that bind us together. Together we can deliver a safer, greener, and more resilient future for our people.
The forum underscores the Gambia's commitment to environmental stewardship, fostering collaboration, innovation, and sustainable solutions that address global challenges while promoting resilient ecosystems and a greener, more sustainable future. For QTV News, I am Awa Bob.
The Women's Association for Women and Victims Empowerment, together with the Ministry of Justice, commenced a two-day training for state councils to improve their understanding of mental health and workplace psychosocial support. Here is Aisha Dubari.
The training aims to strengthen the ability of legal practitioners to address issues surrounding mental health within the justice system, ensuring greater sensitivity, understanding, and support in handling cases involving vulnerable individuals. Mariam J. Sise, Program Coordinator at WAVE, outlined the objectives of the collaboration between WAVE and the Ministry of Justice.
This training is going to go for 3 days and it's going to be in line with basic MHPSS, which is mental health and psychosocial support, when it comes to dealing with cases of SGBV, when it comes to dealing with victims, witnesses. Very pertinent and very timely because we actually have seen a lot of cases when it comes to suicide, when it comes to SGBV. How do we also incorporate mental health and psychosocial support to all of this?
Boubacar Sengate, State Counsel at the Ministry of Justice, emphasized how the training supports broader goals of justice reform and the protection of human rights.
What will help us is to be able to strategize, to recognize early symptoms, and then those who are suffering from that mental or psychological disorder, how best we can help them mitigate to avoid suicide, stress, other effects that it might impact on them. So in doing that, we protect the society from harmful or some other wrongs, and then we protect those people who might be very vulnerable before getting to another stage of committing suicide.
Amikole Jalo, Assistant Program Coordinator at WAVE, highlighted how the training is expected to positively influence the delivery of justice in the Gambia.
Counsel, I believe you need to know how to console the victim, how to talk to the person and be able to get them on board to talk about their cases. Let's say the victim is a minor. Now, for minors, you need to know how to go with them, how to talk to them, because not everyone wants to be in court. Not everyone wants people to know about their cases. And we all know the social stigmatization in the Gambia. People don't want people to know what happened to them. So I think this training is very important for state prosecutors to know how to talk to these people and reassure them that everything will be fine and justice will be served.
Here is Aissatou Lee, a participant and a state counsel at the Ministry of Justice.
Important training that we are on. It is something that can equip us to deal with the witnesses, the victims, and the people we encounter while we're doing our work. It's also something that can help us better manage our stress or better manage the workload that we have.
By the end of the training, state councils will be better prepared to address mental health challenges within the justice system, fostering a more supportive, empathetic, and effective approach to legal practice that upholds human rights and professional well-being. Aissatou Bari, QTV News.
On Tuesday, Gambia Participates convened 80 representatives from civil society organizations, CSOs, community-based organizations, CBOs, and the media to enhance collaborative advocacy efforts in the Gambia. Aissatou Bari again.
Based on a series of training workshops previously conducted with CBOs, CSOs, and journalists, this one-day forum will serve as a platform to review existing relationships, identify challenges, and explore new approaches for sustainable collaboration. The gathering will highlight the importance of creating synergies between grassroots organizations and national advocacy groups, with the media positioned as a critical bridge to amplify voices and foster inclusive dialogue. Marnyang, Executive Director and founder of Gambia Participate, highlighted the key objectives of the gathering.
The objective is after this event, after this discussion, you will share contacts, you will work together, and whenever you activate advocacy, most of you are coming from different backgrounds, from either extension workers, agriculture specialists, those working in organic fertilizer, others working in health issues, advocacy on community development, governance, you name it, both at community and national level. There is no better way to actually make your advocacy successful than collaborating with the stakeholders. And always don't forget about the media. And our media folks, here is an opportunity to bridge that gap, to understand what our colleagues in rural Gambia also go through when they are advocating, how they want their voices to be heard, but the platform is not there to actually amplify those voices.
Rafael Brigande, EU Deputy Head of Mission to the Gambia, emphasized the crucial role of the media and CSOs in a democratic society.
The media acts as a watchdog that can help promoting good governance and accountability by providing accurate, balanced, and timely information to the public. As for the relationship between civil society and democracy, it goes actually in two directions, mutually reinforcing. Without a strong civil society, there is no advanced democracy. But without an advanced democracy, there can be no strong civil society neither. So, media and CSO, you are key actors of the Gambian democracy.
Saini Sise is the head of governance at UNDP.
Consolidating the hard-made gains over the years in the Gambia requires our recommitment to reinforcing connections between community-based organizations within and across civil society, promoting media engagement and collaboration to better understand and convey the realities of local communities, and for communities and civil society to be heard, is essential to bridge the gap between needs and collective action for impact.
The forum reinforces the value of collaboration, empowering CSOs, CBOs, and the media to strengthen advocacy, overcome challenges, and foster inclusive dialogue for sustainable development and democratic participation in the Gambia. Aisa Tubari, QTV News.
Before we end, here is a recap of our main news headlines. The Gambia Participates unveiled the Gambia Corruption Index survey on Wednesday, highlighting the police as the Gambia's most corrupt institution. The Gambia Revenue Authority, in collaboration with the Africa Tax Administration Forum, began a 4-day capacity building forum to strengthen its staff's technical skills in transfer pricing for managing complex tax transactions. The Ministry of Works, Transport and Infrastructure on Partners commenced a 3-day training on data identification, analysis and monitoring to track transport sector emissions in the OIC countries. The National Environment Agency hosted the Global Environment Facility Expanded Constituency Forum on Tuesday, bringing together stakeholders to address critical environmental challenges. The Women's Association for Women and Victims Empowerment, in collaboration with the Ministry of Justice, commenced a 2-day training for state councils on mental health and psychosocial support in the workplace. That's all we have time for in this bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. Join us again at 10.